The reality is you'll never be happy without this. So that's why I want to talk about this topic in particular, because when people think about fitness, and I'm definitely a fitness girly, check the muscles, right? When people think about fitness, they think that fitness is going to get them something, right? Like you usually don't go to the gym for like no reason whatsoever. But what I'm trying to encourage all of us to think about is that fitness is really about this. And the this that I keep alluding to that I haven't yet said is connection, right? Because when we get fit, we believe that we are going to be more attractive, more capable, you can tell me in the comments, what do you think will happen when you get fit, right? But essentially, if we synthesize it and get all the way down to it, we get fit because we think that it'll make us more able to connect with other people. Maybe we think that it means that somebody's gonna think we're so pretty. And yeah, being fit can definitely make you pretty, duh. But what does prettiness do for you? Maybe it means that more people pay attention to you. Why does it matter if people pay attention to you? Because essentially what we want is connection. That's my belief. I am a certified emotional intelligence trainer. So I do believe that it all comes back down to connection. And so what I want to talk to you today about, and this is going to be brief, right? We're trying to keep it 5 minutes or less. We're going to talk about friendship and why you, yes, sister, I'm talking to you, need to get yourself some friends, okay? And if you're like, okay, damn, she calling me out. I don't even know how to get friends though. Like I'm in my 30s. I don't know how to do it. Well, I'm also going to teach you that again within 5 minutes. So here's a little bit about me. I am an only child, believe it or not. When I was growing up, I used to watch the show Sister Sister. Have you heard of it? If you are a millennial and you black like me, you definitely have heard of it. Sister Sister was like that show, okay? Thank you, Tia and Tamara. We love you. Anyways, I watched Sister Sister and I was like, wow, like I would love to just go to the mall one day, turn my back, turn around and be like, oh, it's my sister. Because when you're an only child, you recognize like it can get a little lonely. However, my parents confirmed I do not have any other siblings. So I had to do something that a lot of people don't have to do. I had to learn how to make friends because that was not a given. Typically, people have multiple children with the intention of like making sure that their kid has siblings. They want, again, their kid to be connected, right? Well, my parents didn't give a fuck about that. They were like, okay, it's just you, make it happen. And I'm like, okay. So what I had to do, and I've actually thought about this and I will share it with you, is really figure out how to make true connections. And I'm happy to say that to this day, I have deep bonds. And I want you guys to have that as well. That's the only reason why I hopped on this live today. I'm here to share some information with you. But back to the top, right? So I wanted a sister. That wasn't gonna happen. I did learn how to make friends. But when I talked to some of my other friends who did have siblings, they were like, wow, like you do a lot of things in order to stay connected to people. Like, essentially, why do you do that? And I'm like, well, it's not a given. So I do have to sort of go out of my way to make sure that like I'm connected with people, that I understand people. And my friends are like, wow, yeah, like when you have a sibling, you don't really have to do any of that, right? You just sort of get to assume that somebody's there for you forever and always. Not everybody has healthy, happy sibling relationships. I know this. I'm not like, I don't know anything about siblings, right? I don't have any, but like, that's what I've heard. But even in a sibling relationship, the understanding is not that you have to do something in order to like maintain your sibling status, right? Like if we share the same parents or if we're sort of in the same family, whatever, we're connected for life. Hey, lucky you guys, right? That's not something that I was blessed with. And I read a book called Platonic by Dr. Marissa Franco. I actually saw her live at a women's conference. Loved her so much. She gave us free books. I read that whole book, okay? And the thing that she said was that there's actually a difference, right? A delineation between relationships that are obligations and duties and expectations, and relationships that are fully rooted in your agency, meaning you get a choice in how this relationship moves forward. Let's talk about the ones that are about like obligation, duty, all that stuff. The siblings fall into that, right? Like if there's an expectation that I can be a garbage human being and you're still gonna love me, that means that there's some like obligation, expectation, duty involved, because that's actually not how relationships work. Okay, if you really are invested in another person, then you need to be invested in another person. That means that you actually have to do something outside of yourself in order to maintain that relationship. So relationships that fall within this first category. Again, we talked about siblings, we talked about parents, right? Like, okay, I'm Black. Again, if you couldn't tell, right? So like there is some obligation to my parents. Like I can't just be wilding out. Like, no, they're gonna come for me. There's a level of respect that is always, always, always mandatory. Also, you know, a lot of people like to say, yeah, my partner is my best friend. They're my person. That's super cute. We love it. But there are expectations and obligations and duty involved in that relationship, okay? It's not just funsies, although it can be super fun and I'm not anti. So those relationships add a lot of value to our life. Those relationships do count as a form of true and deep connection. However, we're actually going to talk about the connection that isn't about obligation. The thing that fitness, I believe, is what you're trying to get, right? So fitness leads to connection, we believe, but another way to get connection is just to build friendships. So when it comes to friendships, friendships are like one of the only relationships that we have that have nothing to do with obligation, that have nothing to do with duty, that have nothing to do with expectations, especially as we get older, because a lot of things start to come up when you get older, right? We're talking not a teenager, not in your 20s, like after the Saturn return, baby, shit gets real. And that's when you find out, do I have friends or not? So here's a good way to determine whether or not you have friends. One, when you're down and out and you're like, wow, like I could really use some support. Do you have even one or two people that you know that you can reach out to who will hit you back? That's a good question for you. Meditate on that. Another question for you to consider regarding, do I have real friends, right? If I'm no longer showing up to the function, right? I'm no longer going to the club. I'm no longer like being out here being wild. Are people checking in on me? If the question is not, you don't have real friends. Okay. I'm sorry to let you know that. I'm sure you probably know that deep within, but like, if you stop coming on the scene and nobody's looking for you, they're not really your friends. I can definitely say that with 100% certainty because I completely fell off the scene. I'm the type who's fallen off the scene left and right because like I evolve quickly. My friends are always right there with me though. They be checking in. Girl, how you doing? Haven't seen you in like 3 months, sister. I mean, what's up? And I can always give them the tea. We always hop on a FaceTime. We always connect. And again, it's not really just about me. I'm able to hold space and ask about them as well. That's what friendship is about. Now, I don't know how long this thing has been going, but I promise you that this was only going to be 5 minutes or less. So let's get to how to make friends. If you don't know how to make friends, from an only child who had to make friends since I was like 5 years old. Okay. So there's only 3 steps that we're going to discuss. Get your pen and paper out right now because you're going to need it. Okay. If you are wondering how to make friends in your 30s as a woman, this is what you need to know. Step 1, initiate. And this isn't from me. This is from Dr. Marissa Franco. She wrote a whole book called Platonic. It's amazing. But this first step is her step. She says initiate. Okay. Initiate means take the first step. Initiate means reach out. Initiate means don't get stuck in your head thinking that you did something that you didn't actually do. You actually have to reach out. That means you can send a text. You can call. If you're a proper corporate girl, then maybe send an email. I don't know you like that, but initiate. Actually, you can also just initiate if you meet someone out and about at the gym, hopefully, or At the library. Do people go to the library? I don't know. I'm one of those girls. Anywhere where you're at and you see somebody and you like their vibe, it's actually not weird to initiate and say, hey, I sort of like your style. I sort of like what you got going on. You seem hella cool. Would you be down to get a coffee? Would you be down to kick it? I know some of you are like, no, that's outlandish. I would never in my life do that. Well, this is why you don't have friends, okay? This is definitely something that I have employed in my life when I was young, but even in the modern age. Last weekend on Saturday, it was Pride. So hot, so sexy. I live in San Diego. It was a vibe. But I'm just an ally, so obviously, Pride isn't really about me. I'm just here to support. But I met so many people because I initiated. I was like, wow, okay, big time slay. Love your outfit. Love your energy. Love what you got going on. And actually, one way in which we were able to connect really simply, and a lot of you guys do this, was just through Instagram. We started following each other on Instagram. They're sending me DMs. They're sharing my posts, blah, blah, blah. We're, in my mind, friends, right? We have to actually do a little bit more in order to maintain the friendship. But it doesn't have to be that deep in order to take the first step and try and create a friendship. So that's step one. Step number 2 is to assume positive intent. Y'all don't even know what that means. I'm going to say it again. Step number 2, assume positive intent. So that means if we did step number 1 and we initiated, we reached out, we sent the DM, we scheduled a FaceTime, blah, 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 right? We did our thing. And we don't hear back from our friend, let's assume they're busy. Let's assume life is happening to them and they just couldn't hit you back. Let's assume their child is sick, they went on vacation, their man is mad at them. They got things going on, right? Again, I said we're women in our 30s. It's not just we're doing our homework and then just on our phones. No, we have a million billion priorities at this time. So assume positive intent means assume that this person does care about you. Assume that they maybe didn't see the text. Assume that maybe they didn't have enough time to respond in that moment. And then what do? Go back to step number 1 and initiate. Reach back out. It's not that serious. It's not that deep. And you don't have to be weird and petty about it. But you see, okay, I sent a text. It's been 3 days. They haven't hit me back. I do want to do this thing with it. I'm just going to text them again. I'm actually just going to send them a voice note so that they can hear my energy and see, I'm not trying to be on their ass. I just want to connect. I want to hang out. Sometimes you have to do it a couple of times because people are busy, but people do care. And sometimes it takes a little bit of time and energy to sort of reorganize the way that you are moving through the world. And I believe that friendship is worth it. So go ahead and get over yourself and initiate and then assume positive intent and keep hitting them up if you have to. Step number 3, we're wrapping this bad boy up. Step number 3, when you finally get the opportunity to be with someone, right, with your new friend, be present. Step number 3 is be present. So if the whole time that you're together, you're just documenting things, that doesn't count. You're not present. As I told you, I am a certified emotional intelligence trainer. I know what presence is. And there are 4 categories to emotional intelligence. The second is the first is self-awareness. The second is self-management. So if you can't put your phone down, if you can't be present while you're in the presence of someone else, baby, you will never have friends. You will never have real friends because you can have a gaggle of people around you and feel nothing. But I believe, and there is data and stats to prove this, that friendship is the whole point. Connection is the whole point, and friendship is one way to get that. The reason why we get fit and get cute and do all these things is because we want to be connected. And you can do all the things because fitness does matter, right? Again, these muscles don't lie, baby. I'm going to live to be 100. I wish that for you as well. Anyways, if you're not really into fitness in that regard, or if you're just starting out on your journey, one thing that you can invest in that will give you longevity, that will give you quality of life is in friendship. So those 3 points once again. If you're looking to make friends as a woman in your 30s, 1, you must initiate. 2, you need to assume positive intent. And 3, you must be present when you're in the presence of another person, because that's essentially what it's all about. I really sincerely hope that you learned something new here today. I will be doing more live, so if you liked what you saw, feel free to like, comment, follow. I'm kind of new to this. I don't really know. Follow me, baby, because I'm going to keep giving you that good, okay? Peace and blessings to you. Have a good day.